Right, Nintendo's second half of the year 2026 is starting to look absolutely stacked. We know Fire Emblem is coming out sometime this year. We have Splatoon Raiders in July. Now we got a Star Fox 64 remake, and Zelda Ocarina of Time remake is all but confirmed. And now Nintendo has just announced another first party game for the second half of 2026 that honestly is probably the only person in this entire world who is hyped about this announcement. And that hype starts with a video I did a couple weeks ago of my first ever predictions video, right? This channel is almost 1 year old. On June 1st, this channel will be 1 year old. So thank you in advance to everybody who's just been a part of the channel, a part of this journey. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Let's finish off the year strong. I've been having so much fun with it. And this prediction video has proved to just be like just a ton of fun for me, and just another way I'm able to engage with gaming outside of actually playing games. And so what was fun about that prediction video, which first off, I didn't think that video was going to get views. I didn't think it was going to do good. I decided to experiment with it a little bit. I threw in B-roll just like every other YouTuber out there, right? Like just talking head, throwing B-roll, whatever. And just like creatively, I was just like, ah, man, like something about that just feels cheap to me. I don't know. And I did this thing where I just like did the murky trout fish and just did, I don't know, just having fun with it. Cause I'm like, it's just B-roll, like whatever. I was like, no one's gonna watch this video. Is not gonna get views. YouTube's not gonna push this out. Of course, YouTube did push it out. It actually did pretty good for my channel. It's up there with one of my better videos. And the fish thing, that made some people mad. I thought that was really funny. And of course, like this video, I kind of goofed around with and experimented with. It's just proving it should just be this video that's just getting me some W's in terms of my predictions, and I got to keep pointing back to it. So check that video out in case you missed it. But I released that video, and of course, the first prediction was in June, a Star Fox 64. I believe I said remaster, and it was going to be shadow dropped in a Nintendo Direct. Of course, it's not a Star Fox 64 remaster. It's actually a remake, and it wasn't shadow dropped in a direct. The direct itself was shadow dropped. And so I think there was enough there that was like, and there was enough there that I feel like puts it in W territory, right? Like there wasn't many people talking about Star Fox, this new Star Fox game, which wasn't that brave of a prediction because we already had the Nate the Hate leaks. Star Fox was in the Mario Galaxy movie. It seemed pretty obvious, right? I didn't think June was that crazy of a prediction for like that month. But I think the crazy part was that it was a 64 remake, right? I didn't hear anybody talk about that. Just like, I don't know, I'm just someone who like, I've made plenty of videos just talking about like ideas, like just talking out of my ass, right? Just, I don't know, just, I've been following Nintendo for a while. I see their schedule, kind of things we're doing, just kind of like, it's just a prediction, right? I don't have insider information like Nate the Hate. I was just like, that's kind of what I feel like that they would probably do in 2026 to try to bring Star Fox back. 64. I said remaster. They're doing a remake that's above my expectations according to that prediction, right? And so, yeah, I thought that was a W. And something about like it. I said it was gonna be shadow dropped, or the prediction was be shadow dropped in June. Well, right now, we don't even know if there's going to be a Direct in June anymore. The way that they're handling all these announcements with the Nintendo Today app, with Direct with tweets, like, I don't know. Directs could be done. For all I know, they could just be these smaller, targeted posts and then just game-specific Directs. Because I don't know. Well, we watched the Direct. They could have done a full Direct, and the only thing we would have really cared about was the Star Fox game. So they just did the Star Fox game in the Direct. Maybe that's the future. I was kind of thinking, like, okay, well, if they shadow dropped it, you'd be forced to, like, buy digital only if you want to be part of that FOMO and play it right away, versus like if they want to, the people who want to buy it physically to kind of do this like release of digital and physical at the same time. And they announced it with a 10-minute heads up shadow drop direct, and then it comes out a month and a half later. Like in terms of like getting the games shipped out to retail, people to get their pre-orders in, that's like as small of a window I feel like they could possibly do, right? Like that's like the bare minimum to be able to get that game out physical on retail shelves and pre-orders like fulfilled and all that. So besides being like a digital shadow drop, it's as close as you can get for like a physical shadow drop, pretty much like in 2026 realistically. Like, imagine they just popped up on the store shelves. That'd be like the most wild thing if they could keep that secret without that getting leaked. So that was definitely a win. Some of the other predictions that weren't that crazy was Splatoon Raiders in July. That wasn't even a prediction. That was already announced. I said Mario Kart DLC in July, along with Splatoon Raiders. Fire Emblem in September. I skipped over August, so Pikmin 4, Switch 2 edition in August. Famicom Detective Club in October, which I thought was the second least likely prediction to happen. Ocarina of Time remake in November. Again, that's not that brave with the Nate the Hate leaks. So, that's all but confirmed. And then December, I said Fitness Boxing 4 for December. And now Nintendo, yes, I'm filming this on Saturday, May 16th. So yesterday was Friday. Nintendo just released this tweet that in July, they're going to release Fitness Boxing 3 Nintendo Switch 2 edition. And this tweet makes it seem like it's like if you want to just upgrade for $10, you could do that too. So I don't know if this is getting a physical release yet, but they are releasing a first party release, Fitness Boxing 3 Nintendo Switch 2 edition in July. When I saw this tweet, I couldn't believe it, right? I was probably the only person in the world that was hyped to see a Fitness Boxing announcement happen in the second half of 2026, right? Like, I didn't get the prediction right. It's not in December. It's not Fitness Boxing 4. But I don't know, somebody humble me here for a second. Like, show me another video from another creator that predicted Fitness Boxing to be released in the second half of 2026, right? I kind of compare this to like Mario Party mini games, the one like with the crayon where you have to draw the line and trace the line, or the one like the Mario and Bowser's face, you have to stretch it out and there's like the example picture in the middle and everyone has to try to get as close as possible to it. Nobody gets 100, but if you get 86%, like that's good. Like it's like, damn, like they got 86%. That's crazy. That's how I feel about this prediction, right? Like I don't know anybody saying Fitness Boxing in the second half of 2026. It's not Fitness Boxing 4. It's not in December, but Fitness Boxing is part of Nintendo's first party slate for the second half of 2026. And so, it's such an obscure game. I thought this was going to be the least likely of all the predictions to happen. And it happened, right? The reasoning behind that was like just some kind of fitness game. Some kind of fitness game hasn't been on the Nintendo Switch 2 for the first year and a half, like, going up to December, like when I slot in all my predictions. And that just seems like a category that they would want to account for early on in the Nintendo Switch, right? It's probably too early for like a Ring Fit Adventure 2. And I was like Fitness Boxing, right? I remember that coming out in December a few years ago. I think it was like 2025, 2024, 2025. I think it was probably 2025 because now we're getting just a Switch 2 edition of Fitness Boxing 3. So I'm trying to milk that out a little bit, get a second wave of purchases, which of course I'm going to be a fool. I'm probably going to pick that up, but I'm collecting for the Nintendo Switch 2, right? So that's just like another Switch 2 edition. It's easier to stomach because I never picked up the first one. I never played a Fitness Boxing game, right? But maybe I'll give it a try. Burn some extra calories and maybe just give it a chance. Maybe it could be fun. I don't think I'll pick it up day one. I do think this will be one of those games that do go on sale. So I'll probably just keep it on my radar and try. And this is all assuming there's a physical version, right? I'm not going to pick up a digital version of Fitness Boxing 3 Nintendo Switch 2 edition. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just like, and now that I have this prediction, now I have this, like, I'll be able to look at that on the shelf and be like, man, like that was a memory. Just like the prediction, the fact that was in the 86%, right? Like, so happy about it. Stupid happy of seeing Fitness Boxing as a first party Nintendo title for the second half of 2026. And now I feel like also, like technically, because you can be like, all right, what's this guy talking about? He was wrong. This is not the right prediction. It's not Fitness Boxing 4. It's not a December release. And you're right. Technically, it is wrong, right? And that was my only prediction for December. So now I thought it'd be fun to make an amendment to my prediction because we have more data now. We have more information. We now know that in July we have Splatoon Raiders and Fitness Boxing 3 Nintendo Switch 2 edition. And so now I have nothing slotted for December. And that complicates and changes my thought process on a Mario Kart DLC in July. Because now we have two confirmed Nintendo releases for July. We have Splatoon Raiders and Fitness Boxing 3 Nintendo Switch 2 edition. I just can't imagine them putting Mario Kart DLC in alongside of all that. That would be a packed July. And I think Mario Kart DLC is going to be a big enough deal that it's gonna take like I think DLC is a good secondary slot, just like a Nintendo Switch 2 edition can be a secondary slot. I think Nintendo Switch 2s have been their only releases for Nintendo for a month, but they've also like been a secondary slot, like how we're seeing in July with Splatoon Raiders and Fitness Boxing 3. I can't imagine a Mario Kart DLC that month anymore. And so, if there is a June Direct, which who even knows if there's going to be a June Direct, at this point, I think whenever a Mario Kart DLC is announced, it will just be shadow dropped. It'll just be available now, just like that. Like the fact that what they did with Star Fox, I think whenever a Mario Kart DLC is announced, it's going to be released, right? That is going to be a digital only thing, right? There's no physical to account for. So I do think that's going to, when that's announced, it's coming out. It's going to be a shadow drop. Unless, of course, it's like a booster course, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I still think this is going to be Zelda themed, right? I think it's going to be like almost a cross promotional of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Zelda's 40th anniversary. I think this Mario Kart is going to be some kind of like Hyrule Island or whatever, and very Zelda themed. And I think that could be a thing that happens over the course of the Nintendo Switch 2's life, like one of the themes going on, right? If Star Fox is big, maybe we got like some Star Fox themed island down the road. And so, yeah, I don't know. I could see it being in June. But at the same time, I don't know if they're going to want to distract the focus of Star Fox. But is Star Fox small enough, being this 50 title game, just like Splatoon Raiders, that like they would do a Mario Kart DLC to celebrate the first year anniversary of Mario Kart? Maybe. I think that if we do get a Pikmin 4 Switch 2 edition in August, which again, now that we know that Fitness Boxing 3 is a Nintendo Switch 2 edition coming out in July, I also find it hard to believe, would they do back-to-back months of Nintendo Switch 2 editions? Fitness Boxing in July, Pikmin 4 in August. Like, could that mean August would be the Fire Emblem month? I could see that too. I'm going to stick with, I don't want to make too many amendments and then be like, oh, well, the first prediction was right, the second one. Like, I think I'm going to keep Pikmin at August and Fire Emblem in September. I think Fire Emblem in September would be stronger for like that holiday window of like September, October, November. So, yeah, we'll keep it that. I could see, though, with Pikmin, since Pikmin would be just, like, a little underwhelming, and especially 2 back-to-back Switch 2 edition games, I could see August also being another month for the Mario Kart DLC. I think, actually, August could be a stronger month for Mario Kart DLC if it is Zelda-themed. Not to distract too much from Star Fox. Star Fox is in the Mario Galaxy movie. Let Star Fox have the spotlight for June. And then Mario Kart DLC, yeah, maybe that could be in August, a little closer to the Ocarina of Time remake release, and that could be like, I don't know, there'd probably be a very big eventful thing happening this holiday for Zelda Ocarina of Time, especially like if there's rumors about like a Zelda Ocarina of Time Nintendo Switch 2 console, right, and like accessories and all that. We're approaching the movie, which will be coming out in April 2027. That just had its release date moved up. So I think if we're going to get a Zelda-themed Mario Kart DLC, I would think August. And if it's not Zelda-themed, I think that gives it a stronger chance of being in June. If June happens, I could see it. I'd be like, I'm not too crazy surprised about that. But we're gonna move Mario Kart DLC to August. That's what I'll do, and I'll keep Pikmin 4 in August. I'll keep Fire Emblem in September. We're gonna stick with Famicom Detective Club in October. I thought that Fitness Boxing had a least likely chance than Famicom Detective Club in October. But now we have to slot another game, right? And the whole reasoning for Famicom Detective Club and Fitness Boxing was like, I think with Fire Emblem and Zelda Ocarina of Time, like we're pretty stacked right there for the holiday season. We also have Splatoon, which Nintendo considers that a very high first party title, like right up there with like Mario, Zelda. I think Splatoon, like an Animal Crossing, like they consider like Splatoon up there as one of their most popular first party IPs. And then they're doing this move with Star Fox, trying to bring him back. Like Star Fox was in the movie, right? That really elevates Star Fox. So you kind of have this really stacked second half of the year. And according to my predictions, which I thought, was still pretty stacked of games, I now have to add another game for December, right? And so I'm going to keep Famicom Detective Club for October. I don't think anything's going to shine. Like, you can't do anything too big, right? Like the same thesis stands. You can't have it with Ocarina of Time and Fire Emblem, Star Fox, Splatoon. Like you can't pack it too hard, especially with Pikmin. Like Miyamoto loves Pikmin. They keep trying to push that. If that is a Pikmin 4 Switch 2 edition, yeah, it's a Switch 2 edition, but you still have that IP kind of pushing the whole like release slate up a little bit. So I've been thinking about it. What could possibly be for December? Like if I have to go back, what would I put in December? And I'm gonna go with WarioWare. I'm gonna go WarioWare with December. I think that's a decently strong pick because I don't think the past two WarioWare games on Nintendo Switch, I don't think they perform very well. But it is Wario, right? Like Wario is this he's a Mario character and just his presence on the release slate, even though it's not that big of a game, it's not going to sell well like I don't know, for marketing, for advertised purposes. I think that still pushes it up and makes it feel even more stacked if you get a WarioWare game. But more so, Nintendo Switch 2, they try to like advertise like these gimmicks, right? Like the Nintendo Switch 2 is everything it needs to be, right? It's just a more powerful Nintendo Switch. People love the Nintendo Switch for what it is, and we're obsessed with it. There was a craze, but I love the Nintendo Switch 2 because I don't know, like when I played Sonic Forces recently, like I played it on the PS4 version on PS5, ran great. I think it ages very well. Like we've hit peak already. But I played the Switch 1 edition and it's 30 frames per second and it makes me want to throw up, right? And like it feels like they should be able to run on a Nintendo console. And I think Nintendo Switch 2 makes a good step to like, get way better performance on games. It's everything the Switch 1 is, but with better performance, and that's all it needs to be. And it's not even peak, right? We're not even at the 4K 60 yet, like true 4K 60. Like there's room for a Nintendo Switch 3. It's just boring. It's hard to advertise it. So Nintendo did this whole thing with the camera, with game chat, with mouse controls, and specifically with the whole like camera attachment and mouse controls. I think that's really strong for a WarioWare game because like they've been using mouse controls. They say, oh, Star Fox 64 can use mouse controls or Metroid Prime 4 can use mouse controls. But for someone like me and isn't going to use mouse controls, it's like, yeah, okay, so what? Whatever, right? A game like WarioWare or like, Mario Party, any kind of mini game collection that Nintendo likes to do, those are the games that are going to really force you to use mouse controls, right? Like they tried that with Drag X Drive, but it wasn't really executed very well. No one was really interested in it, not even me. Um, but WarioWare, I think that could be a game that would help them showcase and push like marketing and advertisement for like camera and mouse control mini games, or WarioWare's case, they're micro games. And it doesn't sell well enough where I think it could be a December game slotted alongside all these other games where it's like, yeah, it's not going to perform as well. It's not going to take too much limelight away from Zelda Ocarina of Time, or Fire Emblem or any of these other games. But at the same time, they can market everything their release slate and be like, look how stacked we are. We got WarioWare, and I think that's where they could go, and that's gonna be my prediction. My amended prediction for December is WarioWare. So let me know what you guys think about these predictions. What do you think? It's Fitness Box 3, Nintendo Switch 2 edition in July. Is that good enough? Is that 86%? Is that enough to rack that up as a W for my prediction video? I don't know. Let me know. But yeah, this is fun. And we'll see as the months go, as more announcements come out, how close is this overall prediction for this second half of the year? How does it end up turning out? So if you enjoyed the video, like it, subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for almost a complete first year of the channel. Been having a ton of fun. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.